What is up, guys? This is our third podcast. Today we have Bailey and Eli.
Hello.
Hey guys,
Bailey and Eli.
we announced.
Did you say
We
hi?
said
Yeah, we
hello
did.
at
Did it
the
cut out right?
same time.
It cut you out.
I tried to go after Bailey because you said his name first.
All right, we'll keep going anyway.
All right, sounds
All
good.
right.
What an intro.
All right. So yeah, we have Bailey and Eli here. Mason again couldn't make it to this one. We're kind of recording fairly back to back. We recorded the second podcast like not even a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, typically like 4 days ago or something.
Yeah, it was just a couple days ago.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be away for the weekend, so they're here a bit early. Mason isn't quite back yet. He'll be back and ready to record in a couple days, so he should be here for the next podcast.
Awesome.
Topics to be discussed. We got a couple upcoming. We are mostly going to be talking about games today. We are talking about what?
Sorry, I'm just laughing. This is rough. I'm sorry. This is rough.
It is rough. I'm still new to it.
Dude, it's all good.
Still new to
I'm just trying to be quiet to let you finish.
No, you, dude, laugh. Please interrupt me.
All right.
What was this? Oh shit!
We're talking about.
I was trying to see what topics we have. We have a couple topics. We'll see what we can cover. The ones we cover will be in the description with timestamps. So go ahead and look down there, see what's going on. We are, and of course, they will be. At least some of them will be in the title. If you are interested in listening to our podcast, we are currently talking on a Discord channel that anyone who is a patron subscriber, donator, I'm not really certain what a patron, I guess. Patrons can join our Discord channel, listen to us talk live, and they can chat with us during the recording session and have an influence on what we're saying and give us some new opinions that we can share in the podcast.
That sounds exciting.
That sounds very exciting.
Doesn't it sound exciting? Yeah, please. And don't be scared off by the fact that no one's donating. I mean, the patron's been around a while, but I haven't I haven't had much of a reason for people to join it besides get like some little stuff early. No, This time you get to be here. You get to be in on the action. So
be on the podcast.
We're like, I'm basically restarting the patron. That's why there's no one there yet. Hopefully someone will join, and then a couple more, and then once the ball gets rolling, I think things will be okay.
Yeah.
How can one join this Patreon?
One can join the Patreon by going to the link that's on screen, or you can go
Bailey.
down to the link in the description.
Below.
One of those. I'm thinking about. I might do a bit of work on the page that you guys are looking at to include a proper link for the end and beginning. I'm not certain.
Probably a good idea.
I'm gonna look at what YouTube has to offer.
Whatever's
If there's a change from the last
for
one,
our listeners is probably the best decision we could make.
Yeah, if
we think about it that way.
Right. Oh shit! I forgot to start the stopwatch.
Oh, whoops! Well, we're 6 minutes in.
Yeah, recording wise, I think we started
4 minutes ago.
Yeah, we started 4 minutes ago.
Yeah. I'll start a 55-minute timer or stopwatch. Because you don't start a timed stopwatch, do you?
No.
Just kind of look at it. Okay. So we're going to 45 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right. Let's talk Lawbreakers.
Oh boy.
Bailey, what did you think?
Just straight up.
Is there
How do you
anything
feel?
to talk about?
Oh god.
Yes, of course there is.
No, there isn't. That game's dead.
It was murdered.
It's about why it's dead. What are people? What's the market look like?
Surprisingly, it's not
Non-existent.
It's dead. I think so, but I also feel like it still has almost like a cult following at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking.
It's a lesson learned.
Yeah, I feel like
Definitely.
Because it has that sort of thing like, oh, did you hear about that game Lawbreakers that flopped? Oh, yeah, it actually doesn't look that bad. Let's buy it for however much money
Some
it's
reason.
going for.
Yeah.
Is it free to play now?
No, it's $40.
Jeez.
I know.
They should have done free to play.
They should
That
have
was one of the
really done free.
mistakes.
They really should have done free to play. They're not going to make any money off that game.
Yeah. So let's talk about the mistakes.
All
What
right.
they do wrong. It was the wrong game at the wrong
The
time.
guy
I think.
heading it had a lot of pride.
He had a lot of pride. And
Cliff.
Pretty cocky.
he tried to make it a little too much about, like, it's my game.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, here's the thing. He came from such a like a high background in a sense because
Right.
he worked on the Gears of War games as one of the lead designers. And he
Right.
was probably like, I'm that guy that made Gears of War. I can make my own game. Let's do this shit. And like he went in with that kind of mentality. And the guy's cringy as heck. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look up any video of him and you're gonna be like, this guy is a friggin' wacko. But it was personally, I think it was all the marketing that the game went through that killed it.
Yeah.
For one, it was supposed to come out a little bit before Destiny did, Destiny 2. And for one, I didn't think Destiny 2 got a lot of publicity in the first place, and I hadn't even heard of Lawbreakers at the time. And a lot of people I've been hearing have been saying that Overwatch killed it.
Did you hear of Lawbreakers, Bailey?
I have not heard of it until a couple days ago when you talked to me about it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Honest to God.
That's the sad part. That's so sad. Nobody's heard of it. And I'm sure people who might be listening to this have heard of it. But I think that it also flopped because it just didn't have any originality to it.
No, it was trying to go the route of, like, we're doing an old style Twitch
Like
shooter.
like Quake.
Yeah, like Quake.
Mixed
But
with
Quake had
Overwatch
its moment. Quake,
Halo.
like, isn't a thing anymore. And the people
Yeah.
that would want that are a dwindling market that
Yeah.
have other games right now.
Exactly.
And the people that liked that people that could get into that high skill ceiling
hmm
are young people. And
Yeah,
young people are playing Call of Duty and Overwatch.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. They're not focused on some game called Lawbreakers that was developed by some guy who worked at Epic Games before.
Yeah, they don't know
Um,
about Gears of War.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that it takes way too much from different games, like completely. I was looking at gameplay of it, I was watching videos, and
Yeah.
there's nothing about it that feels super unique to its universe.
No.
They call it this gravity-defying game, and I'm like, well, that's kind of like Titanfall. And they're like, oh, but we have unique different classes. I'm like, well, that's kind of like Overwatch. And they're like, oh,
Right.
it's kind of like Quake. And it's like,
It kind of reminds me of Battleborn and, like,
yeah,
And
this
Halo and
Halo,
Doom,
it almost-
Team
yeah.
Fortress.
it feels almost like a little mobile gamey to me in the sense of, like, mobile games like how Clash of Clans and Game of War, like, they're all copying each other with, like, slight alterations. That's kind of what, like, the casual FPS market is turning into. And it
Yeah.
felt like they were just another take.
I also thought that it was bad. I mean, of course it was bad they did this, but I thought that it was unwise of them to market it as a game for skilled players. Like,
Yeah.
you need to be a gamer to be able to play this game. When people can really just jump into it and play it how it is. Like, it's not super
Yeah.
complicated to play. But their marketing team was like, no, F those guys. We want the guys who are hardcore. And we don't give a crap. And I just don't think that was...
they didn't. Yeah, but, like, the advertising I saw advertising for it all the time. It was on YouTube. But the advertising I saw didn't make me think, oh, this looks like a hardcore shooter. It
Yeah.
looked like, oh, this is a twitchy shooter that anyone who wants a Twitch game can get into. And
Yeah.
it's got heroes with very kind of seen before abilities that, like, oh, another game with heroes with their
Exactly.
abilities, and it's a shooter.
And here's the thing, did you want to get that? Or did you want to get Destiny 2?
Yeah, or do you want to get Destiny 2?
Or do you want to
Are
keep
done
playing
with
Overwatch? Like-
yet? Play, sure. It
And
was
the
a
thing-
Twitch shooter. It was
Yeah.
different,
And the thing about, like,
but not enough.
Yeah, and the difference between, like, Overwatch, if you want to directly compare Overwatch to Lawbreakers, one thing that Overwatch had over Lawbreakers was characters and character design and, like, uniqueness to your characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Definitely a
watching...
lot of lore there.
Yeah, exactly. There was backstory, and Lawbreakers doesn't have that. it just says hashtag like I killed you. Like they say hashtag when you kill a character. Like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
It's a little too edgy. It feels edgy. That's a good way to put it.
That's the word you could use to describe this game. Edgy.
Were they really
edgy.
preparing to like make this like a big hit esports game or something?
Yeah, that was the idea. They wanted it to be a
There's so many games trying to like, oh, we're gonna be an esports game. Like Halo 5 had that feeling.
Yeah,
gross.
I mean, look at the production. Like the company that made that. The name of it is Boss Key.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
It doesn't feel like it has a lot of heart and creativity. It feels like it feels like a game EA would have made or something.
Seriously.
That like really like tries to like hit like a I guess a known market or something.
Yeah,
it honestly feels like a mobile game. Like looking at its trailers, I thought I was looking at a mobile game.
It feels like it should be free, and then you pay to get skins and new guns and stuff like that. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel.
And I'm like so done with those.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel like. And okay, here's a hard question for you guys. What do you think that Lawbreakers did that was well? That they did well?
It looked like, well, I mean, it was buggy. It was like I'm so disinterested in it. I suppose it could have had. What could it have done well?
Exactly.
That I don't get from Titanfall, and I don't get from a tactical shooter, and I don't get, like, let's see, a twitchy shooter.
It's been
Gosh,
done.
I haven't done that since
It's like
Call of Duty. I'd probably play Call of Duty if I wanted another twitchy shooter. They do it so well.
Pick out definitive things unique about this game that it did right. Because there are things that it did like other games, but it didn't necessarily do them better or, the same.
Yeah.
And that's what's so like disappointing about the game is that it feels like it's supposed to be new and improved, and it's supposed to be like, oh, we were this new like this Twitch game you can play on, like esports is supposed to be big with it, but it's not. It totally flops in all regards.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And also I was extremely surprised to hear that they got the voice actor from Rick and Morty to do the little ball character. Like, what the heck, man?
They tried, and I feel bad that they lost so much money, and they probably are pulling hairs out of their heads. Like, there was heart, and like, they wanted the game to succeed. They're honest to goodness game makers, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have the originality to pick up anyone.
No, it didn't.
And it didn't have Overwatch also was... Overwatch was similar. Mm-hmm. It was a shooter that had kind of... it was new in the sense that it really did a good job of bringing hero mechanics to a solid shooter, multiplayer shooter. But it did it well and with quirkiness and like this... Like, it was beaming. It felt like a game that was just beaming with attitude, and people picked up on it and loved it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It was lovable. Lawbreakers isn't lovable.
No, it's not. It's kind of ridiculous in that sense.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Can we pause real quick? I'm getting a phone call.
Yeah, we can pause it.
Sorry, here, 1 sec.
I don't know. It's pretty tough with games like Battlefield and Call of Duty, or at least for my tastes. I'm just trying to look for something new, or like Halo.
It's just repeating itself over and over again.
Yeah.
Nothing unique.
All right.
Like, it'd be really interesting if these big companies just came up with something new,
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump back into it.
All right. Yeah, Bailey's gonna be home soon.
What is this?
Bailey's gonna be home. My Bailey.
Oh.
Yes. Got off work. All right, you want to wrap it up, you said?
This topic, do we want to move on to... Do we want to talk about upcoming games, or do we want to end it here?
I
feel like
I was going to say I think I have to go pretty soon, but I'd love to like focus, just do a whole podcast on upcoming games.
All right,
because we could talk about all that, and then we also have another podcast focusing on like the hardware, Nintendo Switch VR, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good idea.
I think the next podcast will be upcoming games.
Okay, cool. Is that okay? I mean,
yeah.
All right, cool.
Because the hardware one will last a little bit longer in terms of...
we'll talk about each one probably for like 20-30 minutes each, so that'll be like one podcast. Right.
But it'd be nice while we're still in the month of January and it's a good keyword.
Yeah.
We'll do a good like upcoming games.
Yeah.
Podcast. I mean, do we want to do like pick 3 games per podcast so we can really like dissect them, or just like kind of
like 3 or 4 games, do 20-30 minutes each?
Well, we need like a day for that.
That's true.
Like where we just can record a ton of them.
And then we could just post those whenever you want.
Yeah, basically. All right.
Pretty smart. All right, I'm ready.
In that case, let's end it here, guys. Thank you for listening in. I think I'm going to cut the first thing we talked about just because it was a bit messy. So
it was a little bit messy.
If it's edited, if it's going to be edited the way I think it is, we might end up with just this being a Lawbreakers podcast.
How they chat on Lawbreakers.
Yes.
How Lawbreakers just how Boss Key just chat out a game and thought it was going to be good.
Seriously.
Oh god.
Oh man. All right. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Again, if you guys want to tune in for our podcast, join our Patreon, and you can listen in, talk with us in the chat, do fun stuff. It's good. And it's like $1 a month.
That's pretty awesome.
$12 for the year. It's pretty good. Pretty good deal.
That's a sweet deal. I'd sign up for that. Except I'm on the podcast already.
Yeah. I'd pay for that.
You'd pay for your own patron.
All right. Again, topics in the description, though, since we just have this one topic.
This is going to be crazy.
It's not going to be much. You're going to have one timestamp, and it's the beginning of the video.
We'll do
at least you guys can look forward to the next podcast that we'll be talking about some 2018 games.
Yeah, we're talking about 28 games. Stay tuned.
Yep.
Really if you want to have input on that, make sure you get in your patron.
We'll be taking questions, and we'll be listening to responses.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is Amix and Eli and Bailey. See you on the next podcast.
See you guys.
See ya.